Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Administrative and Regulatory Committee meeting on Tuesday, June 25th. A nice, warm, sunny day here. And we are happy to have here with us Commissioner Linda Kroom to my left. Commissioner Pamela Bird is unable to join us this afternoon. And so we will be proceeding with our discussion. I would like to ask if there is an motion to approve the Administrative and Regulatory Committee minutes from May 20th of 2024. So moved. I will second. All those in favor of approving the minutes from the May 20th, 2024 committee meeting, say aye. 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 So approved. Great. Our main topic today is going to be a discussion of the Section 8 Management Assessment and Program Submission, which is often referred to as CMAP. This is a required self-assessment from HUD where we look at our performance against various program criteria that HUD sets. And I would like to open that discussion by inviting our President, Chelsea Andrews, to introduce the topic.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair, committee members, members of the public, and the HOC team. I will just note before we start with this presentation, a follow-up from a prior discussion we had around timelines. As you both know, HUD has pushed out the timeline for both HIP, which is a portal, a housing information portal that they are rolling out and have indicated that we should stay tuned on when the new deadline and timeline will be for that. And as we anticipated, there also has been a move to give an additional year for housing authorities to get in compliance with Inspire. Inspire will replace housing quality standards and will be an initiative that requires a great deal of engagement with landlords and our tenants. We will, of course, take advantage of the additional time that's been afforded, and we'll come back to the commission and the public with some clear guidance in regards to what that timing will look like and how we'll take advantage of the additional time to provide additional information to landlords and tenants on what it means in terms of Inspire requirements. Turning back to the actual item before you, this is our annual self-assessment as indicated by Chair Kelleher. As you will note, we are constantly, of course, evaluating our own performance. There is always room for improvement, especially as it pertains to scenarios in which any human has to be involved, right? So there is always going to be human error. We're a pretty robust program, and our goal is to always perform at the highest quality standards that we can. I am going to allow our compliance team to provide an overview, and then we also have our Vice President of Housing Resources Division here to answer questions. But I do want to just highlight one important point, and that is we are highly critical of ourselves. We try to be as objectionable as we can. While we will submit what we have found in our own assessment, which as you can see, is 2 points shy of high performer, which is where we were last year. It will still go to HUD, and HUD will have the final say in terms of our ratings. We have experienced times in the past where we've been conservative, found ourselves to meet standards, and HUD has ultimately determined that we were high quality, a high performer, and that happened in recent years. So just want to give that caveat. We will report back as it pertains to what HUD's ultimate determination is. And with that, I will turn over to our Vice President of Compliance, Darcel Cox.
Good afternoon. For the record, my name is Darcel Cox. I'm the Vice President of Compliance. Today, I come before you to present the outcome of the Housing Opportunities Commission's fiscal year 2024 Section 8 Management Assessment Program, also known as CMAP. CMAP is designed to measure the public housing authority's performance in key areas as it relates to the Housing Choice Voucher Program. There are 14 indicators. Housing authorities, as everyone has mentioned, housing authorities self-evaluate their CMAP rating and subsequently HUD issues an assessment of the PHA's performance. Based upon HOC's internal self-assessment evaluation, HOC received the maximum allowable points for all indicators with the exceptions of reasonable rent, adjusted income, housing quality standards enforcement, and family self-sufficiency. You can scroll, scroll up. Okay. In the area of reasonable rent, HOC scored 15 of 20 points. This indicator measures if the rent is affordable or if the rent is reasonable based upon the market, the customer. HOC relies upon a third-party vendor to obtain comps and staff process rent reasonableness based upon multiple criteria. Factors attributed to this outcomes are missing documentations and incorrect unit criteria used in determination of the rent reasonableness. HOC's quality control pass rate, internal quality control pass rate is 86%. In order to receive the maximum point value of 20 points, the pass rate must be 98% or higher. In the area of adjusted income, HOC scored 15 of 20 points. This indicator measures if the customer's rent contribution is calculated correctly based upon their income. HOC's internal quality control pass rate is 83%. Factors attributed to this outcome are due to human error. In order to receive the maximum point value of 20 points, the pass rate must be 90% or above. In the area of housing quality control standards enforcement, HOC did not score any points. This indicator measures if life-threatening inspection deficiencies are resolved within 24 hours and if non-life-threatening deficiencies are resolved within 30 days or abated. Factors attributed to this outcome are changes in our inspections company and new process implementation. HOC's quality control pass rate for this indicator was 70%. However, in order to receive points, you must be at 98% or better. There's not an option to receive partial points for this indicator. In the area of family self-sufficiency, HOC scored 8 out of 10 points. HOC's maximum allowable participation is 441 participants in the family self-sufficiency program. HOC is required to maintain 80% of participation. This equates to 353 participants. HOC's participation rate decreased from 81.4% to 74.6%, which is the cause for the deduction in points. Factors attributed to this outcome are HOC had more families exit the program due to graduations and voluntary exits this year in comparison to last year. Conclusion. HOC self-evaluation performance rating decreased from a high performer at 93% to a standard performer at 88%. In order to receive a rating as high performer, HOC would have had to score 90% or better. As President Chelsea Andrews noted, I would also like to note that in previous years when HOC's compliance team rated HOC as a standard performer, HUD reversed the decision and rated HOC as a high performer. Therefore, ultimately, HUD makes the final determination in HOC's overall rating. Both the Housing Resources and Compliance Divisions will continue to perform quality control reviews throughout the year and will meet following the completion of the reviews to discuss systemic findings and staff training needs. I would also like to note that the compliance team will modify its review process starting with the fiscal year 25 quality control reviews. The compliance team currently reviews the entire file and we report on the overall rating as a pass or fail. While we will continue to review and report on all discrepancies within the file, we will highlight the CMAP indicators discrepancies separately. The goal in doing this is to address the CMAP discrepancies well in advance of the next reporting cycle. I'll stop here and take any questions.
Hi, Darcel. Good afternoon, Darcel. Um, you said last year we had 93 and we went down to 88 this time, correct? 88%. So that's like 5 points. Could you tell me what category did that go in? What category did we lose that 5
Maybe
points?
we can go back to the chart on
Yeah.
the screen.
Okay.
So we did lose 2 points in FSS versus last year. We scored the maximum allowable points of 10. And
Okay.
then this year we lost an additional 5 points in adjusted income, where last year we received the maximum
That's
point
what I wanted.
value.
Thank you, Darcel.
I have a couple of questions. I saw in the briefing materials in the corrective action plans, additional training, including bringing in some outside consultants, which I think is great. I also saw that the HOTMA criteria for this is changing and in fact being simplified in part because HUD is recognizing the complexity built into the current standards. When we do the training there, is our training going to be on the current standards or on the new HOTMA standards or some of each? When does HOTMA actually take it? It has not been changed in terms of a date, correct?
No.
Go right ahead.
Not changed. And so
Okay.
the training will be on the new factors, and we're looking to do that this summer relatively soon.
Okay, great. I know that with the income determination areas, we've spent a lot in terms of looking at the staffing, looking at the salary levels, looking at training there. So I'm hoping that that all kind of comes together with this new training and we can see some significant improvement next year, which would be great. The HQS enforcement, I know we have new consultants. They were dealing with a backlog. There's a lot going on there. And Nspire will, when it does go into effect, replace the quality standards that are needed there.
That's right.
Do we have training scheduled for the staff and the consultants coming in to understand Nspire?
Yes, in fact, our consultants are helping us with the training for our internal staff, as well as assisting us with regards to communication materials that we will be providing to landlords. So they will be in our fully compliant understanding Inspire, and will be providing support to us and our teams. And Lynn, please feel free to chime in
Yeah,
if
I
there's
think
anything
you
else.
summed it up nicely. So the contractor, they are already certified and trained in Inspire, so they're ready to go. We had a training actually this month with them to learn about Inspire ourselves for an internal small group. And so we will have
Great.
a communications plan when we are ready to implement Inspire. So all of our landlords and external partners are aware of the changing criteria.
Great. That's great to hear. And I am guessing that the extra time that we get will not be too much in terms of communicating with those external partners, because it always seems you can never communicate
That's
too
right.
much with landlords and external partners and residents about all these changes. So I'm glad to hear that that's all moving forward. That's great. FSS, I know that I've been hearing all year long at meetings about the increased emphasis and work that we're doing to make that program available to more people and helping the people who enter be successful at that program. For any of these, are there budget implications that we should be aware of and with the new budget year starting next month?
No,
So you've already built in all of the resources that you feel are needed for all of the training, the staffing for all three of these areas that we have been
yes.
discussing.
We've met with the budget officer, the president to discuss them.
Right. We were already gearing up for robust training with all of the new programs being rolled out. So we're taking advantage of that and all of the steps we were taking to prepare our internal staff were already underway. So that's reflected in the FY 25 budget. And the FSS team had already prepared a robust marketing budget so that they can continue to recruit additional members in the FSS program. And that was also reflected in the FY 25 budget.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
I'll be looking forward then as we roll out our strategic plan metrics that we track to see some of these in it in terms of our world-class organization status goal. And that will be good. It sounds like you already have a lot of things that are falling into place to help make that successful. Great. Any other questions?
No, I'm good. I answered.
Okay, great. We don't officially approve this. It'll be the full commission that officially approves this at the next meeting, I presume in July. But I would entertain a motion that we forward this to the full commission with our support for the goals and work that the staff has done. And we appreciate your conservativeness and your rigor in the way you have been going about this.
So
Thank you.
moved.
I second. All those in favor of forwarding this to the full commission with our recommendation that they accept staff's work here, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. So it has passed.
Thank you.
Any
Thank you.
other
Thank you.
agenda items that we need to cover today? If not, this meeting will come to a close and thank everyone very much.
Thank you. Thank you.